Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of faux letterpress, selective stencil inking, and also some ink swiping to create this card. I'm going to start off with the classic Pinecone Slim 3D embossing folder from Altenew. It's very, very pretty. I also have a piece of this really dark hunter green cardstock. And this is from the Green Meadow gradient set, and it's 3 by 6 inches. Now I want the green to poke through the branches, but I want the kind of background to be this beautiful gold color. So this is Antique Gold from Altenew, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to the front of the embossing folder, and this is going to add the color to the background. Now this is our faux letterpress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that down and then run that through my embossing machine, and you can see that that gold has then transferred as well as doing the embossing at the same time. I'm then going to take the classic Pinecones. Now this is the Stencil B. Now this doesn't perfectly add up with the embossing matchup, but it is very, very close. So I can use these images that we have on this stencil and kind of selectively ink the images. I am using the Espresso ink from Altenew, and all I'm doing is I'm kind of moving these images around to see which ones will fit the best on those embossed images that we have, and it does work out really, really well. So once I've done that, I have the brown and the gold and the green showing through on my little panel. I'm then going to add a little bit of shimmer using the Iridescent ink spray from Altenew too. I'm also going to add some gold splatters. Now I'm using the metallic watercolors from Altenew, and I'm just splattering them over the top. So once I have that, I then decided I want to kind of add a frosty look to these branches and the pine cones that we have. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white pigment ink, and I'm just going to kind of swash this over the top. So I'm just swiping it over the embossed images, and it is going to catch on the taller of the embossed pieces to give this really beautiful look. I then wanted to use some red. This is Velvet from the Red Sunset gradient cardstock. Now this is a tad smaller than I need it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of mix and match these pieces together to kind of extend this. So I'm just going to cut kind of 1/2 inch off the side of one piece and then 1/2 inch off the other side of another. Now this is going to kind of give me the full matte that I'm going for, but we do have those little corners peeking through, as you can see. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a corner, and I'm just going to place that onto the little piece there, and we are kind of mixing and matching these together. It's not going to be a perfect matte, but it's not going to be that noticeable either. So once I have all of my little pieces, I can then adhere them onto my little panel that we have here. So I'm adding the glue behind the panel and then popping those little cutouts that we've just created just behind, leaving a little bit of a border around the outside. Now it does look very, very classy, and I love the way it does look. You can use a full piece of cardstock for this, but if you only have smaller pieces, I just wanted to show you how you could use them up to do this too. So I now have a card base. So this is 6.5 by 3.5, and I'm just going to add this into place onto my slimline card using some of the foam tape from Altenew just to give me a little bit more dimension. I'm not sure I do need it with all the embossing that we have going on, but I did think it was very, very pretty. So once I have that, I'm then going to move on to my sentiment. I'm using the Joy to the World typography die set, and I'm just going to be using the joy on this. So I have the velvet cut out cardstock that we used before, and I'm just going to add this onto some double-sided cardstock. Now I just want the joy, so I'm going to add that to the bottom of this piece that we have here, and then add it into place using some of the tape that I have stored on my little mini blossom. So once I have that joy cut out, I can then move the piece up and then cut a second joy. Now the To the World will go over the other joy that we have already cut out, but I'm not going to worry about that. That was already waste anyway, so don't worry too much about that. And I'm just going to keep moving this joy up and up that little piece of cardstock that we have with the adhesive on the back to create lots of little joys to use. So once I've done that, I'm then going to cut that out again, but this time out of some of the gold glitter cardstock from Altenew. Very, very pretty and very, very shimmery. Again, just using the Joy of that Joy to the World die. So once I have all of my pieces, I can then go ahead and stick these together. So we are creating a stacked sentiment with the little joys that we have. So I'm going to start with the O, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing off the little die cut that we have, and then just adhere that to the matching die cut that we had from another die cut. So I'm going to have 5 layers of the J, 5 layers of the O, and 5 layers of the Y. Once they are all together, I'm then going to take the little shiny glittery ones that we have, but instead of directly matching these up with the red ones that we have, I am going to add this kind of to add a little bit of a shadow. So I'm adding it slightly up and slightly to the left, so we have that the red poking through the side of the gold as well. It gives a really pretty look. You can see both of the colors at the same time, and I just love how it looks. So once I have those, I'm then going to add these onto my card base. Now I'm just going to play around with where I want them to be, and I decided that I did want them in the center. To get these nice and straight, I am going to use a little ruler, but you could use a little piece of paper if you wanted to, but I do find that this ruler really helps me out and helps me center them. I did add the O in first and then the J and the Y, just to make sure that that O was in the center of the card. And here is the card complete. I really do hope that you like the card and that you've enjoyed the video as well. If you do create a card that was inspired by this, it'd be great if you do share, because we'd love to see. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon.
Hello,
Bye-bye.
my crafty friend Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.